Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today on 7th Circle Gaming, we analyze the turn-based strategy game from 7th Circle Gaming, Master of Magic. And we begin in the usual manner with the full disclosure. Of course, everyone that's interested can pause the video now and read through all of this at their leisure. For everyone else, don't pause the video and let's move on to our first screenshot. Overall then, Master of Magic has earned a frankly below average score of 6 out of 15. Despite all of its pluses, it does have one major shortcoming, and it is we begin, as we usually do here on 7th Circle Gaming, with a discussion of the overworld map. The overworld map of Master of Magic is rendered in a pretty genre-standard way, neither overly fantastical or overly realistic. Moving on now to the user interface. At the top left-hand corner of the screen, we have the various socio-economic indicators in their usual location. At the top center of the screen, we have additional interactables, and at the top right-hand corner of the screen, we have the system menu, again in its usual place. At the bottom left-hand corner of the screen is another dialog box, which is rather specific to player actions. At the bottom right-hand corner of the screen is the mini-map, along with the additional map modes that the player might expect. Just above this is the notifications bar. In our second screenshot of the video, we're going to take a quick look at the tactical level interface in Master of Magic. This is pretty standard, again, for the genre, so we don't have much to say about it. We will instead move on to our third screenshot of the video. In our third screenshot of the video, we're going to discuss another major aspect of the game, which is town management. When players click on any town under their control, they'll be greeted with a menu similar to the one on the screen, wherein players are given the ability to control the tax rate for a town, the unit recruitment queue, and also a building construction queue. In addition to this, players will also be tasked with managing the amount of food produced by a particular town, the number of builders a town has, and the number of rebellious or non-productive citizens in a town. In our final screenshot for the video, we're going to take a quick look at the research tree. Unlike other games of the genre, players do not necessarily research upgrades to a particular unit, but they research spells that they can cast either in the overworld map or on the tactical map. And that's all the screenshots we have to share with you today on 7th Circle Gaming regarding Master of Magic. So we now move on to our first proper chapter, which is, as it always is, Immersion. Here the game has earned a rather low score of 4 out of 15. We would just add here that the immersion score might increase as players spend more time with the game. With immersion now concluded, we move on to our second proper chapter, which is, as it always is, difficulty. Here the game has earned a 5 out of 15. While the game only has basic difficulty options, it does have additional modifiers for the difficulty, and all of these options are frankly very well described. The user interface is pretty standard for the genre, that being the tactical and strategy game genre. The only real hiccup we encountered was the next turn button, which really wasn't overly clear about where it was located. There are some faction-specific rules which players may find it difficult to understand, as the game does not have any tutorial of any kind. In our third proper chapter, which is, as it always is, Lasting Appeal, Master of Magic has earned a frankly impressive score of 8 out of 15. And the game has a lot of items in its favor. Among these are the around 270 possible combinations of faction leader and troop types available. In addition to this, the game has a significant library of downloadable content, both free and paid for, as well as mod support that does not require accessing third-party websites, creating additional user accounts, or potentially downloading malware. The only real negative in this chapter is a lack of visual distinctiveness, which is to say that players cannot tell at a glance the difference between a high elf town, or a dark elf, or a gnoll town, or a barbarian town. Overall, Master of Magic has earned a frankly below average score of 6 out of 15. Despite its many pluses, which include the multiple combinations of faction leader, troop types, difficulty settings, and additional options, players must weigh all of these against the high cost of entry for this game and the fact that Master of Magic very infrequently experiences any sort of sale, compared to other games of the turn-based tactics and turn-based strategy genre. And on that rather down and dour note, we now conclude this video analysis of Master of Magic. Please, if you do have any games that you'd like to see analyzed on the channel, leave those in the comments section below, or if you do disagree with anything that we've said here, again, leave those in the comments section. We look forward to reading them, and from 7th Circle Gaming, goodbye.